Hi all, it's Kimberly and I have a quick reading for you for this 12/12 gateway. This is December 12th, 2018, and I've pulled some cards. I had to kind of set them up ahead of time so that I could put the camera on a tripod. You'll have to excuse my hands because I just moved and I haven't had a chance to even clean up my hands yet or manicure them, and I have a huge cut on my little finger, so as I'm holding things up, don't mind my short nails. So I'm calling them their active length right now. So a couple things before I get to the cards. So we'll talk about what this energy is. Something that I just added to the website that I was telling you guys about in the last video. If you didn't see the last video, I want to tell you now that I am doing a new session. It's under the category of readings on the sessions tab of my website, and it's a twin flame guidance session. And basically we're going to check in with the Akashic records, look into what your soul contract is with your partner. So we'll look into past lives, future timelines, where you're at now, help you to clear blocks and anything that's been in your way karmically. And then we'll also be calling in the Ascended Masters and Archangels for additional messages. Just a really in-depth session to help you gain more clarity on your connection, where you're going, where you've been, what you need to clean up, and some of the healing work that might be there for you to do. This would be good for those of you who are not, maybe, let's say, where you're not fixated on outcome, but you're more curious as to like why a certain path is illuminating, or why the connection is taking a certain turn, or maybe you're just curious about the connection as a whole. Again, I don't like to read in terms of people coming to me and looking for, can you tell me when I'm going to come into union? Because that's always up to you. That's always up to you with your twin flame. It's like that is, dependent on and completely contingent upon how quickly you want to come into union with yourself. And so looking at this map, I did one of these sessions yesterday, and we also looked at ancestral. I was able to tap into ancestral bloodline stuff. So it wasn't just past life, it was also this lifetime, and what we've carried forth from in the lineage. So it's a pretty in-depth session. It's a 1-hour session. Check that out. It's on the illuminedguru.com under Twin Flame Guidance session. Okay, so this energy is a 12/12 gateway, and what they're telling me about this energy portal, these special numbers that are lining up for us, and what this gateway is they're saying that it's changing lanes, and that feels like getting on the right path. And so that's what I'm going to term this video. Hopefully that'll make sense once we go through what the messages are. So I pulled like a 3-card spread with clarifiers, and so first let's look at the Ascension deck. This is from Diana Cooper, and so El Moria is coming up. El Moria is the Shohan of the first ray of action. Okay, so he's helping us make the changes that we need to make to open up the doors for our ascension and for this new path that we're illuminating. The message in this card, if you look at the bottom of it, it says, in drawing this card, you're asked to lead by example, employing the self-discipline, strength, and integrity of an ascended master. You're reminded to use your power for the highest good. So the clarifiers are interesting here because what we have is the spiritual law of attraction, which is Melchizedek. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. And the card independence. And we've been seeing this card a lot. It came up in my last reading. It came up in the reading before that. It's been coming up in personal readings. It's been coming up in my own readings. And I swear to God, I shuffle these decks like crazy. So it's not This is really coming up for a reason, and it's not just because I'm the cat lady, okay? This is coming up because we are being asked to lead at this time, to take that step forth on our independent path. This energy is about changing lanes. Like we're getting the push through this portal energy to, forge out independently, to lead, to take the lead in a new way, maybe in a way that we didn't even expect. What does that mean? That means like pioneering through our vulnerability. I really get that. I really get that. Like, I've been getting those messages. I posted, if you didn't see it and you haven't liked our Facebook page, you can log on to facebook.com/theillumined-guru, or just do @theillumined-guru. You'll find the page. And I posted a video about my personal experience and how I began working with Mother Mary. And it's a very deep and, profound experience. And it was something that my guides just kept telling me, like, you need to share this. This is sharing your vulnerability is going to be, part of how you're leading in this next phase. And so I feel like that's coming in for everyone. And by doing that, by leading by example, by showing like, oh, okay, you're human. You're not, as a healer and a teacher, a light worker, you're not perfect. You've been through it too. And that's what they're saying, like shared experience. And, leading from your own wisdom is really, really important at this time. We're going to talk about this as pertaining to self-sufficiency and freedom from oppression. So it's a sovereignty, but I feel like that's freedom from oppression. Anything that has been oppressing us, situations, work situations, relationships, this is where we're changing lanes. We're getting into a new lane. That means new place, new relationship, new work situation, extrication from those things that have been holding us down or holding us back. And it really feels like coming into our self-sufficiency, that self-reliance. And how are we doing that? We're doing that through the law of attraction. And this is really the law of attraction, I feel like, from being our genuine selves. We are leading from a place of authenticity that we haven't led from yet. It's like the most authentic selves, like the most authentic version of ourselves yet. And there's still miles down the road of where you'll get more authentic and more authentic. But the more you do that, the more you're going to attract the right opportunities, the right people, the right clients, the right... Oh, look at Zoe's hair on my card. You're going to attract that. And this, you never have to be concerned about... you don't have to be concerned about, where's it going to come from? Where's that abundance going to come from? Where's that, new job, or that, that money to travel, or whatever that is that you're wanting for your expansion, and for this, continuation and this new path, like for this independence. This all ties hand in hand. You have to start asking for what you want and believing that it's going to show up in your experience. And then when you're able to start a cadence or a rhythm of like, oh, I asked for it, I received it. Oh, I asked for it, I received it. Then you're going to start leading by example too, which is what this card is saying. So you're going to show others how to do that, okay? So next we have the gold and silver violet flame. And so when Saint Germain comes in, he's always talking about transmuting and transmutation. So, this really is asking us to transmute the old ways of being into the new. It's not where you have to abandon who you've been or what you've believed, or judge yourself from the past, but it's that, this is about transmuting what you've learned into creative energy, into new expressions, into new forms, into, transmuting your pain, your hurt, the journey of this process into helping others and raising the frequency on the planet. And this feels very connected to freedom, okay? And this is how I feel like you are finding your freedom from the pain, from whatever has weighed you down, the traumas, the pain of this journey, the pain, the pain from childhood traumas, the pain from being stuck in certain paradigms or belief systems. Your freedom is coming through transmuting that into the new beliefs, into the new school of thought, into creative outlets, into new ways of teaching and leading. Like we said over here, like I said, you're leading from your vulnerability. You're leading from your experience. This is not where you have to say, oh, I'm perfectly healed. I never was that wounded person. No, this is about saying, I was that wounded person. Now I can help you. And with this is coming the dependency card in reverse. And so if we look at this upright, and saying addiction, attachment, toxicity. But look how that is a beautiful complement to, dependency and freedom and independence. And they're coming together because we are detaching. We are detaching now from where we have been codependent emotionally, where we have attached out of fear, where we have been playing out certain cycles of habits, addictions, that have not been serving us, so that we can find our freedom. And that feels like taking this stuff and transmuting it. And that's how we find our freedom. Teaching about it, helping others. I mean, you name it. The traditional ways of healing are no more. Like what has been, like, what do I mean by that? Like, for instance, I'll give you some examples from just situations that I have, like with clients or people that I know. Like, for instance, like with dependency, like going to AA, not that that's bad. And if you do that, that's fine. But I just feel like there's so many more progressive ways to heal at a deeper level. And it's not healing the addiction, it's healing the wounds underneath the surface. And so it's like, some of you are going to be going to new types of programs to heal that. Some of you are going to be starting new types of programs for others. For certain, it feels like certain segments of the population, maybe you're finding an outlet for that. Your voice is needed. And if you're not starting a group or starting or pioneering something, then you're joining something that maybe is a little non-traditional, that is going to be a much better fit for you than like how we've been doing it. Now, not just related to like actual literal dependency, but the ways that we've been doing things, like the school system. I have a couple of clients who are in the school system, and they see how backwards things are in terms of working with troubled children or troubled troubled teenagers. And they're seeing the way that teachers and the school systems are approaching these cases, and these people really need love. They need the support. They are needing therapy. They're not needing to be reprimanded and and judged and segmented and separated. That's just further contributing to the issue. So you people that are seeing these problems, these issues, like, okay, the school system, the way we're disciplining, it's not working anymore. The way we're teaching our children, it's not working anymore. The way we're approaching addiction, it's not working anymore. You are seeing this so that you can create the solutions, so that you can be the pioneers of new efforts, new initiatives. You can start this small, but you can start community initiatives or things right where you are, to start to transform the old ways of being, the way that things have been done. It's up to you. You are the change makers. You are the light workers. So, and you will be transmuting your frustrations. I mean, a lot of you say, like, I'm frustrated with that doesn't work, or that hasn't been working, or, and if you're seeing something that you feel frustrated about, that's inspiration. So see it as such. Like, that can be inspiration for you to transmute that frustration into something new, a new way of doing it, a new way of being, something that you're creating. And that's going to lend to freedom. And this could be from your own personal experience. This could be from things that you're observing. So very important to transmute in this journey. That's what this journey is teaching us. It's one of the main things in the twin flame journey, is learning how to transmute. Some of you watched my video from the other day and said, oh my gosh, I don't know how you've been helping and healing everyone else while you've been going through what you've been going through. And I said, it's really not that hard for me because I've been transmuting on this journey since day one. That's what this journey has been about for me. And I feel like that's what this journey is about for everyone. But those of you who are not doing that, you're missing the boat. That's how we quickly transform the pain into the joy, into the helping others. And it gives the purpose and the passion to this journey. It makes it a lot lighter. It makes it happier. It's an amazing process, and it really does help you personally know how to cope with the, emotional pain, grief, suffering, regrets, whatever that is. And knowing how to transmute is one of the greatest tools that you can have in your toolbox. And it is part of the Ascension journey, a huge piece of it. Okay? So the third card we got is Lemurian Healing. We saw this maybe a couple weeks ago in a reading, and it's talking about, stepping into a new golden age, which we 100% are stepping into a new golden age here on Earth. This is the new Earth that we're walking into. And this is talking about, and I mentioned this a few readings ago, and I don't want to go too deep into it now, but how the Lemurians had planted the crystals in the earth and sort of connecting the higher powers with this earthly realm. And I talked about finding the balance between spirituality and being in our physical bodies and being grounded and being spiritual, and that's really important. But I feel like for this message here in this reading, what they're reminding us is about opening your heart to love and being unconditional in this next phase. And that's where this Jesus energy is coming back. It's like a return to Christ consciousness. And this is about, caring for animals and people. And so many times, I know there's little sayings that go around the internet, and I've seen them on social media, like, we care for our pets or animals more than we care for people. And it's like, can you extend that compassion towards all? Can you, remove the judgments? Like, how do you integrate your spiritual knowing into the 3D and release those judgments and release the separation that exists? Because this is what's carrying us into the future. Okay? And they're saying, like, start dreaming not only of your future and the future of, oh my God, another Zoe hair. The future of what you want to create for yourself and this new phase, this new path, and you're in the right lane now. You're getting in the right lane. You're changing lanes. You're going into the right lane. So now that you're in the right lane, you're driving in the right lane, they're saying, okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to experience along the way? Who do you want to become? And not just that, but what do you see for this world? This is really about you making a difference in this world. And we have the energy coming in, filtering into us now through this gateway. To really start making those changes, to be the changes that we want to see. And I know that might sound a little cliche, but they're saying, like, it's up to you to create these changes. And the changes that you're wanting to make in the world are also the same changes that, as you create from within you, you'll start to perpetuate to the world. And so in terms of, let's talk about that being in the, because they did say very specifically, we're changing lanes. So my little pen holder, I just want you guys to see. So freedom, independence, self-sufficiency, extrication from toxicity and, dependency, attachment, going your own way. Going your own way is huge. And some of you have been, like, really close to what you've been wanting to do, but not in the lane yet. And this feels like this shift into the right lane. And this feels like, because come winter solstice, which I'll have that forecast for you soon, you're pioneering on that path. And maybe it's not just stepping forth on it right now, but you're in the right lane and you're doing the work behind the scenes, so that come the spring, you will be manifesting and emerging and really making some of these huge changes. The time is now, the guides are saying. The time is not 6 months down the line or, 6 years from now. The time is now. So if there's anything that you've been thinking of or that's been kind of pulling at you, a creative idea, an inspiration, a path that's been calling to you, explore it. Start working on it. Start opening your heart to it and opening your mind to it. Stepping towards everything that you do with love is really going to be how things open up. And wanting to bring people, the desire to bring people together rather than separate them, the universe is going to support you. Your guides are going to support you. The universe is going to support you. And as you bring others together and create new solutions in this world, you will become even more whole within yourself. So the idea is that you've done so much healing and integrating where you're able to step forth in more wholeness, more love, but also in the act of creating these initiatives, transmuting your energy, leading, pioneering, setting the pace to, lead unconditionally, you will become more whole and gain a deeper union with yourself. And in fact, the bottom of this clarifier deck is union. And I wanted to show you guys that. And that feels like that oneness, that oneness with all, but also the oneness with yourself. And if you're wanting to know what's going to set you up for union with your twin flame, this is it. It's about the path that you forge for yourself, the healing that you do, the giving back that you do. A lot of this, as you can see, there's like a double meaning in everything I've just said around doing for you and giving to others. It's almost like it's synonymous now. So there is no separation between that either. But I think whereas in the past we've been imbalanced, we've been giving to others without caring for ourselves. We've been giving to others thinking it's unconditional, but not having the self-love or the foundation within ourselves to give in that way, leaving ourselves depleted. In fact, I pulled up behind a car yesterday and the car said gasless. And obviously it was an electronic, vehicle, like energy efficient vehicle. And that was the purpose for the license plate. But I had to sit with that for a minute. And I said, why is that license plate here? And I felt like the message was, we cannot give to others on an empty tank. We cannot charge ourselves on an empty tank. We must fill our tanks first. And that's going to give us the foundation to be able to give to others. And that's this cycle that's reversing, right? Like, whereas we've been attached to things like outside of ourselves, giving, attached to we're thinking like that there's something that's filling us up here, but really like we're finding that self-sufficiency, that fulfillment within ourselves. And then that's creating freedom. And then we can open ourselves up to the whole world to create the new future, the new earth. So I'll leave you with those messages, and I hope that that's helpful. I'll be back in a few days for our very exciting winter solstice and full moon in Cancer reading. Check out the website and the services online if you're interested in working one-on-one. That's thelumentguru.com, and I'll see you all soon. Love to you. Bye.